All right, what's going on today, guys? Um, we're going to be talking about how Sparking Zero can improve, or some things that I would think that would help the community a lot and just improve the overall health of the game, and some like quality of life changes that they can add on that will help us all. Um, First, let's talk about UI Goku, I guess, because he's like the most prominent character in the game. Right now, he's probably the best. We need to like adjust or change the actual auto dodge mechanic he has. Now, I know it takes key, but there needs to be like a threshold where he can't do it or something, like under like 2 bars of key where he can't auto dodge. Because there's been countless times where there's like, I don't know if this is intended or if this is a bug, but there's been countless times where I'm behind a UI Goku and he'll weave, that's fine. But then he'll also spin around, and then while spinning around, he'll weave again, and then he'll hit me with a Sonic Sway. And that has cost me like probably like 3,000 rank points. And like, I don't see it often with Whis. I know Whis can do it too, and it doesn't cost key for him. So that's something that can be adjusted as well. But UI Goku as a character is already like way too strong. So if they added in like a threshold where you actually have to think a little bit with UI Goku, that'd be cool. Number two, and this is probably my biggest one, just take the time limit out of DP, bro. Like, nobody wants to fight the full team of some guy running around and running away instead of fighting you for the entire timer using Yajirobe, Sensu Beans, using Master Roshi, and just running around and hiding. Next, I would like to talk about the next change that I would like. Probably just, I don't know, some costumes or some newer costumes in the game. Be nice to even be able to just change the colors of the original ones. We're missing a lot of costumes. Stuff like that will help the player base out a lot. And you can have your own customization. Everybody will look different. Pretty cool. This is probably the biggest one, which is, number 4 or whatever. We need a player match mode where you can go in and just queue instead of having to wait in the lobby, because it does have a lot of downtime waiting in those lobbies for your turn and stuff like that. For people who don't have friends to play with anyway, that would help out the game a lot and be beneficial to a lot of players who don't have the ability to just, join up with a friend in a private lobby or whatever. Number 5, rage quitting got a very, very, very needed update and change, but there's still a way for people to quit. People will still quit, like on me, when they see my name and I don't get anything, they don't lose anything, they just run away from the match, where, it's just obviously not something that's intended. The next thing I want to talk about with changes, we need like a punishment for perception or some limitations or something. As of right now, it's a bit too strong in my opinion. It allows you to stop heavy smashes if you have a blast stock or a perception stock or whatever you want to call it, a key stock, whatever it is. The numbers right under your character. We need something to limit what perception can do, because super perception is able to stop almost everything. And if you have a UI Goku holding it the whole match while zoning, you're just not gonna be able to fight back. You just got to sit there and let him clobber you for the next, I don't know, 5 minutes of a match, which is, as we all know, not very fun. Um, Perception itself, like, I think it's pretty cool, like how you can use perception in different situations to get yourself like out of combos, and also able to like maneuver around with perception. I don't know what that was. Um, but yeah, there's like also some instances where it's just way too strong. The next thing I would change is probably gonna be Wild Sense. Now, the problem with Wild Sense as it is now, Wild Sense can be activated mid combo. So I'm sitting here like comboing up on you, absolutely destroying you, hitting you with the devious back shots, and then you decide it's time to perception. Um, Not perception. I got stuck on the last point. It's time to Wild Sense or whatever it's called for UI Goku Ultra Movement or something. Um, but yeah, you guys decide to do that mid combo, and then it like throws off my combo, and then it's just out of nowhere, so I don't expect to vanish it. And I don't know if that's intended or like a bug because I didn't really see that until like after the patch. But yeah, you can do that mid combo, which is horrible. Please remove it. We also need an adjustment on how quickly you get the blast stocks or the uh skill stacks or whatever. You get them way too quick. So you can activate this move that Wild Sense, for example, that's only two. You can activate it like 5 times in a match, which is absolutely insane. Same thing with like After Image, even though it's like a bit nerfed. Good players are still cheesing with After Image with Super Vegito in ranked. So if you know how to use it and you get After Image Strike 3 times in a match, your opponent's pretty much cooked. And I think like we should have it more sparingly to where you actually have to use your brain a little bit. Like it'd just be much better for the community if you had to think while using these abilities. Um, the next thing I would change, Key Blasts do way too much damage. Like Key Blasts are ridiculous. There has never been a time in the entire Dragon Ball show where Key Blasts are absolutely defeating an enemy. Now, needless to say, you can obviously beat someone with a Key Blast. That's not what I'm arguing. I'm arguing that Key Blasts themselves just do too much damage for some characters. Like, for example, Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4, basically all the Gogetas, honestly, except for like maybe Blue, I think, they have a shotgun Key Blast. And if you fully charge it, it does like half a health bar or something like that, which is absolutely insane if someone's already giving you the devious backshot combo and then they hit you with a shotgun Key Blast for 5,000 and then your health is already gone and you have no chance of fighting back. That's ridiculous. And then there's not like much counter to Key Blast. People will say like revenge counter, which doesn't work on like characters who have like an air Key Blast or Trunks' unblockable slash, stuff like that. And then we also don't have much ways around it. There's not that many characters like a barrier, and then some of the barriers in the game suck. Like you'll use Whis' barrier or 17's barrier, and then you're still stuck in an animation for a few seconds, so they can hit you with a super attack after you stopped it. And it's just really infuriating to lose to Key Blast. Like the guy never really hit you, but his Key Blast did 90% of your health. Another thing I wanted to talk about and touch on is going to be just the community as a whole, just how people play. Now, it's a ranked game mode. You play how you want. You pick who you want. I get it. But that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be a penalty or maybe an adjustment for someone who's not actively trying to fight. So let's say, for example, you know how the actual blast stocks that you get for locking onto an enemy. If you're just standing in place, chucking Key Blast at someone, you shouldn't really be gaining any blast stocks for doing anything because you're not doing anything. You're just standing there pressing triangle and your blast stocks are going up, and then you can use some really cheese moves if someone does get close to you and land a hit, which is kind of ridiculous. Another thing that I'm noticing, at least online, in the Z ranks, the super counters, they're like gonna happen more often than not, which I have no problem with because I can super counter. It's not really a big deal for me. But the casuals that want to play the game maybe adjust the super counters to where there's like a set amount of hits you have to take before a super counter, but then that would kind of be something else, like another can of worms, because that just sounds horrible now that I think about it. Let's just scratch that one. Forget I said that. We're not gonna even talk about that one. That was horrible. I'm not sure how you would nerf super counters, but just maybe look into it. People are complaining about it, so it's whatever. I don't complain about super counters because they're so rare. Um, well, I'll say this: it's rare that you run into a player that can do them consistently, especially frame one. But hey, there's someone out there that can. Then there's something else that I noticed with certain characters. I mean, I don't know if they're already aware of this, but if you play DP, characters with false courage, if you use false courage before the end of the match, like in the last 60 seconds, and then swap out and then swap back in, the character who used false courage will have full health again. And once again, we're still not sure if it's damage based, health based, DP based, how many characters are at full health. We don't know what the win condition is for DP, which is, kind of dumb. I mean, we should really know how it works. Or, I mean, you could just, take out the time and then we wouldn't need to know. It's just whoever loses all their characters. But I digress. We already talked about that. So let's move on. We also need like a robust training mode. Training mode's kind of mid. I mean, it gives you the mechanics, like it gives you the basics and everything, but there's like so many different like combos and like small little attacks that I've noticed. I hit someone with like a clothesline yesterday in a mid combo, and like some characters can do it, and I have no idea how I did that. Like it doesn't say anywhere on the actual controls. It doesn't say anywhere like in game, no hints, nothing. And no one online, at least from what I'm seeing, has like figured out how to do that. It just randomly pops out for some characters for me. And I'd love to know how to do it because it's very, very hard to deal with if you can master it. So if I can figure out like how to do it, I would enjoy that. It's like another way to play. We also need to adjust the amount of key blast you're able to shoot. This is more so like Cell and Frieza because theirs are so fast. There's people still key blast spamming with Cell and Frieza now because they're just so quick and they all like lock on to you immediately. It's very hard to like actually dodge those. And then that's neither here nor there. I'm not really complaining about that because first of all, you don't see those characters. Second of all, it's a key blast, bro. Like that's not really that big of a deal. The damage is the issue more than anything for me. Especially characters where you can't avoid it. Then we got the I can't vanish. The connection is always like a factor in a game where you're fighting someone, like Mortal Kombat, anything like that. But my issue is vanishing attacks do so much damage. When you're not able to vanish, you might as well just put your controller down. I can't stress how many times I've been in a game against a UI Goku or a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and they get like 4 follow-up attacks that I was just unable to vanish. There's no input, there's no way I can vanish. Every time I press the R1 button, it just doesn't register, which is a problem. Now, losing 10k health to a vanish battle just because you have no chance of vanishing, even when you have the key for it, is a very, very, very bad thing to deal with. Like, it just makes you want to turn the game off and stop playing. But, hey, sometimes you just gotta hold those L's. I honestly, at this point, I've been like, when there's a person who I know is always gonna lag against me. I play on PlayStation mostly, so I'll just block them. Honestly, once you block someone, you don't have to play them again. They won't pop up in matchmaking or anything like that. So if I'm lagging too hard, I'll just block them and I just won't play them again because it's just not fun losing 600 points to somebody you couldn't vanish and they're just horrible. Um, and my final point, something else that I would add to make the game a bit more enjoyable is just adding more maps. More maps in general just be more fun, like Kami's house, the lookout, um, stuff like that. There's like space. Space would be cool, but I don't know if they have any plans or anything like that for the future. If they're gonna like add on maps or whatever with the DLC. I'm really excited for the DLC. Hopefully, we'll see something about it with Battle Hour. Um, Another thing that I've been thinking about, I think the next video I'm gonna drop here is gonna be like the most annoying playstyles to fight against and how to counter them if you can. And I'll try to like get some examples that way I can show you on screen. It's not just gameplay, random gameplay in the background. And I'll kind of like go over what I was thinking and analyze the situation. And if y'all would appreciate that, just leave me a comment or a like. Um, but yeah, that's about it for this video. I just wanted to talk about like some things that kind of would improve the health of the game, make it a little bit better, in my opinion. Um, Once again, I love the game. The game is pretty fun to me, but there's some things that we gotta adjust. Also, the comments on my other video, the one right before this one, which I'll put in the description, is like absolutely crazy. Like some of those comments are actually really funny. You guys are actually hilarious, like with your reasoning and some of the like insults, the personal insults you're attacking me with because of an opinion on a Dragon Ball game. But I digress. This is it for me. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. If you like the video, give me a like, maybe subscribe. Have a great day.